Welcome to the Dubai Builder podcast. I'm Fancy, and I sit down with amazing people who talk about how they build their network, which government programs or private communities help them grow, and what are the different paths people can take to build their own businesses. Today, I'm joined by Max, who shares his own version of building in Dubai. Let's go.
I love your view and your full setup here for podcasts. So, yeah, my name is Max Gloeckner. I'm also from Germany, same as Franzi. It's been 20 years when I left Germany, first to Australia, working for mining companies there, then moving to Thailand, living there for 8 years, building a real estate company, eventually moving to Bali, found a little bit more about life than just making money. Ended up in Poland for the last 4 years. So my wife is Polish and I have, my son is half Polish and half German now. And I spent there the last 4 years, which is an amazing place to be. And a mutual decision led us to Dubai, just also because Dubai is such an amazing place as where it's located, because it's between Asia and Europe, but also because of the people, because of the networks. And I feel like Dubai has such an amazing filter for people to come here, because you always, whatever you talk about, it's about growth, about the next level, about, you know, what are you doing? And it's amazing. So there's no entitlement or things like this that what we have in Europe, and other problems and challenges. There's a lot of challenges, but challenges that you can grow on. And that's why I'm here, basically.
Amazing. So, and what are you building here in Dubai?
That's a great question, actually. I'm building a few things, but one thing that I'm really focused on, it's called Telos. And it's not only in Dubai. Dubai serves me very well for being here because I make a lot of connections. But Telos goes a little bit more into the serving of people and humanity, meaning it is, that goes a little bit, so you have to open your mind, but it's all science, I promise. It's not only woo-woo. Yeah. So it's a little bit, if you understand astrology, it has something to do with it, but it's very different. So it's based on chronobiology, it's based on traditional Chinese medicine, traditional Chinese metaphysics, and a lot of different things. So basically the moment you come out of the womb of your mother and you're using your lung for the very first time, you locked in with the magnetic field of this planet, and you can measure this because everything on this planet is in rhythm. So for example, your daily rhythm, your circadian rhythm is like 24 hours, it's the frequency, right? You start in the morning, you wake up, you have energy. Then in the midday, it's now, this is where the energy peaks, and then in the evening it goes down to like resting and recovering, and eventually you sleep, right? We look at the lunar cycle, the moon, which is 29.5 days, it's the same thing. In the new moon phase, you're starting a project, you're going to the gym, you feel a lot of energy. You're going to the full moon, this is the moment you can't sleep, because whatever reason, because the energy is in peak, it goes down into resting, and the same thing happens also for the solar cycle, which is like the year, right? You have the springtime, you have the summer, you have the autumn, and then resting in the winter. And so it does for all your cells in your body, your organs, and everything is going in rhythms. So what you can do with Telos is basically, it locks you in, or it's the science of you are locked into this magnetic field of the planet, and it can predict your hormones, your cycles, what happens in the life later on, and if you're further on your path. And that's what we're building right now. So it's completely free. We use it as we call it free mini Telos for everybody who puts in his date and the time and the place where you're born. And then it shows you literally what is your path, what are the things you're supposed to do in your life, where are you going, where you have up and downs, where you have dates you need to be careful about. Because maybe just to finish this point before I talk too long, because I know you have short podcasts as well. She told me the fast one was 10 minutes. I'm trying to be faster than that. That's why I'm talking fast and drink a lot of coffee. But no, the point is this. When you look in all the other places, Dubai has a lot of people who find their purpose because you do what you love. And that's what it is. If you have the passion and do what you love, you're in your flow, right? So if you look into different systems where people are becoming tools of systems, maybe you have the same experience because you feel like you have to do it because you have to fit in somewhere, right? So here you go and you feel like, hey, there's a lot of people doing what is passionate to them, right? And that's the idea. I want to help people find their passion and their purpose in their life by giving them the tool and the roadmap, which is the blueprint of your soul.
Yeah, amazing. So it's like it's a program, it's a community, it's one-on-one coaching maybe also later on, or no?
Yeah, I'm trying to scale it as much as possible. We're just developing it. So this is a development of my partner, Dr. Alberto. He's doing this in 30 years.
Wow.
And he's basically treating people on diseases, right? They come to his office and then he makes their telos and they say like, okay, that's what you have and this is why you have. Because when you're not in your flow of your life, this is when disease is happening. When you swim against the current, this is when the problems occur, right? And when you understand that and understand what's your blueprint, you will know how to go with that. And it's not like we have a movie, we plug it in and then the movie goes without free will. Just imagine you're in a valley and there's a river. And that river is your life. And that river can flow left and right. It can go in 2 strings as well. But when you go up the stream, that's a problem, because now you swim against the current. So you have free will, you can move around, right? As long as you're in your flow of life, you will be fine, and you will explore your life in the best, and you will be in your in flow, in peak, basically.
Amazing.
So this is it's not a woo-woo. It's all scientific. 300,000 people have given their data. Over 60,000 people. Alberto has done it. When I saw it on his computer, I said, like, "What are you doing?" But in his telos, he's 3% of making business.
Yeah.
The rest is just like sharing, healing, giving knowledge.
That's
I have
great.
48% of doing business, so we match together very well. So I'm here the messenger, and I bring this to the world. So that's the idea.
Perfect. So we definitely put the link down below in the captions. And
100%. It's totally free. Get your free mini telos and figure out what is your. It's okay. Let me give you an example. For example,
Yes,
so
okay.
my wife Marcelina, she doesn't know the difference between. She has a problem identifying zeros in numbers. So she's not like mathematically like it doesn't. So
Okay.
for example. So one time she flies to Poland, and she's like, you know what? I upgraded to business class. And I say, okay, that's nice. And she's like, I got such a good deal, only $180. I said, Emirates, $180? Impossible. She was so happy. I said, baby, show me that receipt, right? So she shows the receipt. Of course, it's $1,800. So she didn't recognize there's another zero. So we often argue because she doesn't know the difference between 100 and 100 million sometimes, you know? So now the telos.
she's living in a world of abundance.
Yeah, 100%. No,
That's
she
great.
has- in her telos, it shows she attracts money. Interestingly, it shows also she's a TV presenter, she's a model, she was Miss Poland. It shows it all based on what logged in on her.
Yeah.
He saw it. He's a witness. 0%, she has the 0%, I've never seen this in anybody's telos, mathematically abilities. 0%. So I don't need to argue about this with her anymore,
Yeah.
you know? It's just the way it is. And when you understand that, you're like, okay, wow, okay, I don't need to, like, don't push for something that I am not, right?
Yeah.
So it's really interesting.
That's definitely a great segue into. So you said you just very recently moved to Dubai, right?
Yeah.
So how did you start building your network?
Okay. So that was many, many years ago, because I worked with a frequency device, and I did something where we call social selling, which is basically nothing else than building a network. When I was living in Thailand, I had my real estate company. I was making good money. I was spending the money. I was making money. And it was like always this kind of, rhythm that I felt like, is this everything? Of course I can go to the next level, right? And that was really when I first really looked for more answers. I started asking questions that I haven't asked before, and I got more answers, right? And this is where awareness was created for me. And in this time, I found this device, which is a frequency device, which basically you put it on your body and you choose
So it's a
program.
physical device.
It's a physical device.
Okay.
And you can choose frequency programs, and basically anything that you want to support or improve in your life, you can put it. Like energy, if you're low on energy, or sleep, if you need sleep, or digestion, if you need digestion, or your kidney meridians, and whatever. So there's sets of frequencies tested by therapists, that work for specific things, because everywhere are frequencies, and energy is everything. You're seeing with 100 hertz per second in your eyes. Like you have a color spectrum, which is a frequency. My voice is a frequency, right? So, and if you're out of harmony, it's the same thing. Like again, we need to get in rhythm. So anyway, this device is doing that. I totally fall in love with that, because it kind of empowered people, because you use it, right? And it's not like it does it and it's like, boah, you go through it's not
Not
that.
the coffee,
It's
not like coffee.
Yeah, it's not like the coffee. It's more subtle, and it's on a very subtle. But what it does to people, it was creating empowerment for them, because they started asking themselves the questions that they know best. Because sometimes you don't need to find a therapist, a doctor, a psychologist. You know yourself the best. If you just allow yourself to become aware of yourself, right? So if you work with energy and frequency, and you understand that this is tissue, muscle, you break it down, there are cells, you break it down, there are atoms, you break it down, there are subatomic particles, you break that down, there's 99.999% empty space, and just an electron flickering in a frequency. So you understand, we are energy, right? We can create. Whatever it's happening in our life is the thing, it's my responsibility. I created this, right? When you become aware of this, wow, things are changing. And that was the process. And then I started sharing this device, and we built these communities where we share testimonials, these stories. It helped also people to make money, because I told them always when you feel the benefits, go out and share to other people because it's beautiful, right? It's sharing is caring. Now you make money as well, so it was an abundant component to it as well. And we built a community over 280,000 people. Meanwhile, by doing that,
Wow, worldwide was that? Or
it was 45 different countries. So it was. I spent a lot of time in Dubai, many times, like a lot in Asia, Europe, everywhere basically. That's my experience with community building, and I want to do similar things, of course, for Telos, but it's a different way. It's just like, if you put the energy behind something that you are so convinced about and you are certain, everybody will feel that. That's the same when we come in here and we see your podcast and you're so excited and everything.
Yeah.
It's like, it's like contagious. That's why I wanted to come here, because I feel your energy. It's beautiful, right?
Great. Perfect. So that, then, like, how did you find those people? Like something very practical. If we think about someone who
not
might
in a
just
living
get started.
room.
Not in the I mean, you can.
I'm kidding.
If you start a podcast in your living room, you can.
Joke.
No, but how did you find those people? Like, you put it out there, like advertisement or meetup. Like,
So
what was the
there was
really first step?
person to person.
Okay.
Like literally person to person, finding people who have an influence, right? Before I even had any influence or any audience, right? I was already talking to people who have an audience, like people who had, and I think everybody has an audience, right? It's like if you think about it, we are just what was it? Maybe 6 people away from knowing everybody on the planet.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's like we are so connected, right? Because of one person, it starts. Somebody sees that, thinks I want to know that, shares that with somebody, and then this is like the effect. And it's the same if it's online or viral. It's the same when we talk to people and you talk to one person and say like, hey, I have 2 friends that is interesting, then 2 friends come, and then hey, I have a whole community that's interesting, and this is how it goes, right?
Yeah.
It's with everything what you start. If you started, like you start small in the beginning and then you grow and go on.
Okay, that's amazing. So as you said, just get started. And then it takes the right people will find you.
Yeah, absolutely. Maybe that's also very interesting. No, you go ahead, sorry.
We take that as a bonus question, okay? So the next question would be about government programs here in Dubai. So I wonder, throughout the process, are there any government programs you have looked into?
Didn't do that.
But that's maybe a huge opportunity, right?
Yes.
See, that's why you are here.
Actually, my friend told me about this a couple of days ago, and he showed me all these government programs who are investing in startups, which is maybe not for me, but my brother has an amazing startup as well. But there is so much support from
startup communities as well.
Totally,
yeah, so maybe that's something to look out for.
Yeah.
But then are there any other maybe private communities which you would recommend?
Well, we have a small community of entrepreneurships, 30 selected entrepreneurs, what we're going into. I think, to be honest, this is what Dubai makes so special. Because no matter where you look, you find these groups of people who come here, serve, help, support each other, right? It's like, and this is, I feel it's so many of them here. So I'm joining actually sometimes actually 2 of them. So, which is like a group full of entrepreneurs, and they come there through recommendations. So it's nothing big, but you find those here a lot.
Okay, and this is like private access, or can anyone
Private
join?
access. So you come through recommendations. You kind of need to be a business owner for that. And
so they need to reach out to you via the Instagram
Well,
DM, and then they might get a referral? They might get in?
Yeah. I mean, if I can help with anything, I'm more than happy to help and support, of course. Yeah.
Wonderful. So we actually had a community question from an insider.
Really?
I feel like he's behind the camera right now.
That guy.
I asked my community today morning on Instagram, what is one question I should ask Max? And he was like, ask him about flow state. So I think you touched on this earlier.
Yeah.
Is there anything you would like to add either on this one, or you had earlier, you wanted to share maybe another point?
Well, flow state is always oftentimes related to peak state, right? When you're in this moment, in the zone, right? For me, it's different. For me, it's flow state is if your life is flowing, right? And that's why I tell us, like, it's really understanding, like, are you doing what you truly love? Is this like something from your head, or does it come from your gut? Because we have 3 brains, right? We have the head, we have the gut, and we have the heart. Is it an intuitive decision? Is it something that you truly feel for? And I believe, for example, for you didn't make a head decision coming to Dubai. Right? Because logically you worked for something, you had your job in Berlin, it's the income and so forth, right? But there was something, maybe an intuition, maybe something that put you on your path and says like, here. And now you're here since when?
Yeah, 1.5 years.
Yeah, and how do you feel?
Amazing.
Exactly. So, and these decisions is not like, are we doing the right thing, And this was the same for me when I left Germany to Australia. I went through getting kicked out most of the time from schools 8 times in my career before I got high school. So it was very hard for me to fit in. Then I made it to the army. I said, please give me some discipline. The army taught me very well that I never want to work for anybody. And then I studied, and I got totally depressed studying. And then my friend was actually in Australia to this time, traveling and working and picking fruits and all these cheap jobs where you can make some money. But the last week or two, he got stuck in a place called Port Hedland, and he was cleaning trucks for like $35 an hour. He told me about it. These trucks were for the mines. And then I had no logical decision whatsoever. I've been struggling so much to come to this point to finally be at university, make that job that supports me and guarantees safety in my life for 35 years.
Yeah.
I'm here finally. And then I just clicked that mouse and booked that one-way ticket to Australia and never came back, right?
Yeah.
This is like, it's not a logical decision. It's just like a leap of faith, listening to your heart, to your gut, whatever, just to the inner voice and just feel guided and just go for that. And I think this is where great decisions in life have to be made. And that's called flow state for me.
I agree. Wow, wonderful. Very inspiring. Thanks for sharing this.
Thanks for asking.
Anytime. Thank you to the community member who put that question into the story.
Yeah.
How can people reach out to you, learn more about you, your projects? What's the best way to connect?
I think just if you can connect to me on social media, Max, LinkedIn, because we have German names, it's oftentimes different to pronounce. It's Max Gloeckner, Gloeckner.
We put the QR code.
Yeah,
on the
at my website, maxgloeckner.com, I will give you, if the telos will be ready after we launch, you will get your free mini telos and you can try it for yourself and you will be blown away. If not, please join the waitlist and you will get it for sure. Guarantee, I promise.
Perfect. Wonderful. Thank you so much,
Fantastic.
Max. We close things here with a high five.
Yeah. High
Amazing.
five.
Woo!
Amazing.